Hello, my friends. Hello, hello. Today, I have a very, very special video for you. 3 weeks ago, some amount of time ago, I got an email in my inbox with the subject line, Heikala interview. And naturally, I short-circuited for a second. And it was someone from Gallery Nucleus reaching out to me because they had seen that I had opened Heikala's art box in one of my previous videos. And so Ben kindly reached out to me asking if I wanted to make a video talking to Heikala to help promote her upcoming Gallery Nucleus show. And I was like, yeah. So this is that video. I had the pleasure of having a wonderful little art date with Heikala on Tuesday night. We basically just sketched together for 2 hours and we talked about process and inspiration and style and our cats. And it was a really wonderful, lovely evening. She is so sweet, and watching her draw in real time was amazing. I've been a fan of Heikala for years. I have 3 of her prints hanging above my desk. She's been a huge source of inspiration for me. And if you are not familiar with her work, I highly recommend checking her out on Instagram. She's an incredible watercolor and ink artist. She works a lot with alcohol inks, and her work is full of magic and whimsy and light, and just all of her pieces are so beautiful and so unique. And like I said, she has an upcoming solo show at Gallery Nucleus where she's going to be exhibiting a bunch of brand new pieces as well as selling some originals. Hi, Sophie. Are you here for the intro? Hi, baby. Heikala also has a black cat named Mira, and so obviously we bonded over that as well. And we, like I said, we drew together for about 2 hours, and so this is that 2 hours whittled down. So I hope that you enjoy spending this very cozy, lovely drawing art time with us. Do you have any comments, Sophie? Yeah, she wishes for the same. So without further ado, enjoy. I went onto your website and I got your digital sketch zine.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I was flipping through it, and it's very, I guess it's almost very reassuring and validating to see that we kind of sketch in the same way. I usually draw in pen just because it means that I don't second guess myself.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing for a long time now. I think it's really helped streamline the whole process, because I don't also have the time to second guess anything. So if you make a mistake, it's easier to just go ahead and start from a whole new sketch altogether.
Yeah, just kind of go with it. I wanted to ask you, well, one, I guess, how long have you been living in Japan?
I've been living in Japan for 1.5 years now.
Oh, wow. So you moved there recently?
Yeah, I moved last year's spring.
Oh, I don't know why for some reason I thought you had been living there for longer. What prompted you to leave Finland?
I kind of felt like I had already seen everything there.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever, because I was traveling to Japan many times a year, maybe 2 times a year or stuff like that. So I kind of felt always homesick when I left here. So
oh, wow.
So I kind of wanted to, because still being so young, I just was wondering if I could move away from home.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The whole world is your oyster. That's why I decided to move to Seattle, because I didn't want to live in Texas anymore. I wanted to ask about something that I really love about your work. I literally have 3 of your prints hanging above my desk right now. Something that I really like about your work is how varied and how different all of your pieces are. I feel like every single one of your illustrations is super unique and tells such a rich story, and I was wondering how you come up with that stuff, because I just think it seems like kind of an endless well for you, and I think it's really incredible.
Thank you so much. How do I come up with my ideas?
Yes,
I can actually show a little preview of how I start thinking about a new artwork, if you wanna see.
Oh, I
usually start like this. I make a matchbox sized a square in my sketchbook, and then I start to fill it out with the things I maybe wanna have in my artwork. Most of the time I go to either Pinterest or see my photos that I've taken, or really rarely I come up with an idea on the spot and I'm I need to draw that right now. But usually I see something, maybe I see a vase or a plant or something like that, and think about, wouldn't it be cool if there was a character, a tiny character in that a vase or something like that. I usually then when I have an idea, maybe I have this a recurring theme of some things. I really like tiny characters, so that's why I chose the fairy prompt right away.
Yes.
But having tiny characters in mundane places is one of my favorite things to do.
Yes.
So having a pot, and then think about what a character might be doing in that pot. Maybe they are hiding behind a leaf or something like that, like this. Or maybe
that's so cool.
If I have a vase with a bonsai tree, because bonsai trees, and then have a character sitting under it, which is a tiny character, and then the tiny tree is a nice idea. Maybe there's a ladder leading to the place, or
I love a ladder on a pot. It's such a classic. I never tire of it.
Now that I see this shape of the vase that I made, I was thinking maybe I could have an illustration of a boat made out of a piece of a bark of a wood. I never made those as a child, but I know that some people made those as a child, and maybe the sail is made out of a leaf, and then there's a tiny character riding
so
there.
Good.
So this is my process, and there are huge waves.
Oh yes, of course, because they're so little.
Some leaves, stuff like that. So this is basically my process. I make so many tiny sketches like this, and when I have a nice little composition that works really well, then I choose it and I print it in super large size, and then start sketching on top of it from a light table.
Oh yes. So do you blow up those tiny thumbnails and then sketch them on
I could take a picture of this or scan this and then blow it up on a bigger size and then start sketching on the illustration.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I find you usually your scale, usually it's what, maybe I'm thinking in inches, I don't know about centimeters. Maybe 10 by, or 14 by 20. I feel like you usually work fairly big.
Yeah, in about A3 size. I think that's pretty close to 12 by 20.
I feel like European size, paper sizes, makes so much more sense than American ones. So it's I think A5 is so perfect as opposed to 5 by 7, and that's kind of our closest equivalent, and it just makes me, it's so annoying. That's so cool. I feel like I often get held up by my own perfectionism a lot when I'm sketching or when I'm drawing, and so I feel when I make tiny thumbnails like that, they all need to be good and I feel like the fact that you just kind of make a bunch and then you settle on the one that you like the most is a great way to combat that fear.
Yeah.
I also love the way you draw hair. I think I like how I really enjoy how you portray like depth in your like with your pen strokes. I think it's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
How long does an average illustration take you?
Like a full illustration with a background and everything?
Yes, like if you're working in like with inks and watercolors and stuff.
Nowadays, it usually takes at least like 2 or 3 days to make one.
Oh, wow. And how
it
many...
used to be a lot faster, but I feel like, I don't know if I feel like my standards have already have risen too much. Yeah. So I can remember those days when I was making like 1 illustration a day, and like I couldn't stand looking at like one piece more than one day, so I like had to finish it that day. But now I feel like I wanna take my time making like an illustration, so but usually like 2 or 3 days.
Wow, you have a lot of patience. Yeah, that's really remarkable. I'm very impatient, I think, because I feel like the algorithm is always breathing down my neck, and so I'm like, I have to draw things as fast as possible, or else there's no, not that there's no point, but it's just, it's like that little unsung pressure.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
How long have you been working on your pieces for your upcoming exhibition?
I started working on them like in May or April already, the first ones.
Wow. Okay.
But I had like a lot of things going on at the same time, so it's taken me a while. I actually finished the last piece 2 days ago.
Oh, so, cool.
Really,
congrats.
Thank you. It was a lot of work. Once again, to make. I made like 16 new pieces for the exhibition, and I only posted like one. Like a couple of hours ago, I posted the first one, like the whole thing, on my social media. So
I saw that. I was like, ooh. I also saw that you're gonna have at Gallery Nucleus. You're gonna have like originals for sale too.
Oh yeah. All the pieces that I made for the gallery show will be also like for sale.
So exciting.
Yeah. And I'm also like super excited to go back to like US. I haven't been there since COVID started. So last time I was in US, it was in New York, I think in 2019.
Oh wow.
So it's been already 4 years.
I know that you exhibited there like 4 years ago. Do you feel like you've like what do you feel like has like learned or what do you feel like you've learned, or like what's changed in your art or in your process since then?
I think for the longest time I have been making artworks pretty similarly. So this time I wanted to like really work on pieces that are in a certain theme. So I wanted to make artworks that like portray the theme of relationships and like humans in interaction with each other and with their surroundings, with like nature. So that has been like this has been like the first time that I have like a bit vaguer theme, but a theme still. It's like a, how should I put it? It's like a more personal theme in a sense.
Sure.
But yeah, super excited to show all the pieces that I've made. A lot of the pieces are like watercolor, but also some colored inks, and I also have like one piece which is made on a canvas, which is huge. It's like 1 meter in height.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was the last one that I finished 2 days ago.
I have never... Oh my gosh. The thought of working at that scale is like very scary to me.
Yeah. It was actually the first painting that I started and the last one that I finished.
Oh, yeah, well, that tracks. That makes sense. What made you want to do such a large piece?
I just felt, because I had been to some illustrations exhibitions here in Japan, and bigger pieces always have this like huge impact, like in a different sense. When you go to like a gallery exhibition, the small pieces, even though they are like super lovely and you can see the details, like it has like a certain kind of impact when you have like a huge piece on the wall that you can see from the back and come closer to check it out. So I wanted to make something with an impact.
Oh my gosh. I am not going to be able to go to the exhibition in person, but I'm excited to see photos of it on the internet.
Oh, that's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to work on like a bigger scale sometime?
I think so. I think I would just like to make, like I was saying, because I get so impatient, I very seldom, I feel like, finish full illustrations where there's like a background and like characters and it feels kind of like it tells a narrative. I feel like a lot of the times the stuff that I make, it's very standalone or like characters standing in a void or things like that. So I mostly just want to figure out how I can let myself take my time and understand that like there is no rush, there is no like huge competition. I already don't post on Instagram that often at all, so that doesn't need to be like a sort of fear factor for me. And I don't know why I have such a hard time. I think it's because the longer I spend with a piece, the more I start to dislike it. And so I just want, like you said, when you used to work very quickly, you're like, I just want to finish it because I don't want to look at it anymore.
Yeah, I can feel that too.
Which is like a strange feeling to have, especially when you like first especially when you maybe first start working on a piece and you're like really stoked about it.
What's, by the way, your go-to medium when you make illustrations traditionally?
Traditionally, I really love acrylic gouache. I used to work in watercolor when I like first started drawing more seriously. Then I got really into like Copics for a little while, but I really, really love acrylic gouache because the colors are so bright and opaque, and I really love the matte finish because then I can use colored pencils on top, because I really like layering colored pencils on top of gouache because I just think the texture it creates is like really delicious. I'm learning that I really like art that looks like I could eat it. Where it just looks where like the lines and the colors and the textures in the work just look, I get like delectable is the word that comes to mind. Do you know the studio Leica who did the movie Coraline?
Yes.
So they have an exhibition right now at a museum here in Seattle, and I was able to go and see not only like the actual figurines from all the different movies and all of the tiny clothes that they made for them. They also had concept sketches for each movie, and it was so inspiring and really incredible, and actually gave me a lot of clarity with like the direction I want to go with my work. And so,
so nice.
It's very nice. It's a feeling that I've been lacking as of late. I've been feeling a little adrift artistically. So,
like an existential crisis with art.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
precisely. Very much so.
Yeah, I can feel that too. I've had those moments.
Mm-hmm. How do you work through those? Like, how have you worked through those feelings in the past, and like how do you approach stuff like art block and things now?
Wow, it's like that's a really hard question.
Oh wow,
I don't think like it's really hard to like still even though I'm like my artistic career is like I've been making art for such a long time, still getting into an art block somehow comes as a surprise to me every time.
Yes.
So I don't have like anything to counter it. Like if I have the time, I just don't work on my art at the time. So if that's like an option.
Yeah, and you just kind of step away.
Yeah, step away. That's like do something else. But if like I'm also like I have this tendency to work better when I'm under like a deadline or a pressure. So
I know that feeling.
So now that I've had to make the artworks for the gallery show, and even though I had those moments that I felt like I was like blocked or anything that I was producing was not good enough, I just had to like push through and see that I can still like make art, and I can make like pieces that are really nice and which I like kind of noticed at the point that I enjoy the process, even though before that I felt like I don't want to draw at the moment. So I kind of trick myself into making art.
That's super valid, and honestly I think a great strategy.
Yeah,
I think that's a good way.
Because I've never had that, like I think it's only that maybe at points I'm just feeling lazy. It's like a bit of laziness. Like most of the time, there are times that I'm like feeling like super sad and I don't feel like working at all. But usually it's just there's so many other nice things that I could be doing besides doing work. So
what do you like to do besides work?
Like make really nice food. Play a ton of video games. Yes.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. Yeah. Video games, I think I could like do that almost all the time.
Yeah, yes. Yep, I feel the exact same way. If I could play video games all day long, I think I would if I could.
What's your favorite game? Do you have a favorite? Is it a hard question?
No, actually, it's not that hard. My favorite game is Persona 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm a really big fan of the Persona series. It's Persona 5 and Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts 2 is so good.
It's so good. What are your favorite games?
My favorite games? I really love the new Zeldas. Then Hades was so nice. I enjoyed playing that so much.
So fun.
Before that, Kingdom Hearts is also one of my favorites. Maybe the I can't decide between the second and the first one because I have like huge nostalgia for both of the games.
Oh, sure.
And I think nostalgia plays a really big part on the games that I like that consider my favorites. Like I love Final Fantasy VIII. It's like one of my favorite JRPGs.
Do you think that any video games have had like an impact on your style at all?
I wonder.
Because I wonder that too. Because I'm like, I play so many video games. Surely some of them have gotten in there somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe the style of Okami.
Okami's one of my...
has had some kind of...
That's one of my faves too.
Impact. Yeah, it's so good.
It's so beautiful. I remember when I first played it, I was astonished because I was like, I didn't think that video games could look like this. I was like, I didn't know that this was possible. Like, this is so beautiful and unlike anything that I've ever seen. Honestly, since I haven't seen a video game that looks like Okami since I played it. Why do you like watercolor? Why do you like watercolor and ink so much? Because I feel like it's like one of the most challenging mediums.
Oh, really?
I think so. Just because there's so much, and I feel like whenever you post a process video, I see proof of this, is that there's just so much planning that goes into using watercolor, because you have to really think of you have to think ahead of your values, and where you want your focus to be. Yeah, there's a lot of forethought that goes into it. So people that work primarily in watercolor are always very impressive to me.
Thank you.
Because
I think using watercolor was just something that came naturally because I think it was one of those only mediums that you get to try at like a school setting. I think that was one of the first ones that I tried in school.
Oh, sure.
And so I had like the most chances to work with that medium.
In school, because I know you went to school for design. Have you just kind of always been drawing, I guess, kind of like your whole life, ever since you were a kid?
Yeah, I've been drawing ever since I can remember. Yeah, I also like went to in my hometown where I am from Oulu, which is like it's in the middle of the Finland, but it's still like very much north. It's really close to Tornio. Do you know Tornio? Haparanda.
I do not.
Like but... it's really close to the Swedish border.
Okay, sense. Great.
Like, but yeah, we had one school in elementary school that you could go on like a third grade to get into a class that was specified in art studies.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I applied for that when I was 8 years old, and I got in. So
cool.
So I've been like ever since that. I've always known that I want to make art.
That's so cool and really beautiful. Was your university in Finland as well?
Yeah, I first went to like an art specified high school in Helsinki, and then to university, which was specified in like graphic design, or at least my major was graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Lahti.
I was also curious about your like, do you ever do like studies where you're like looking at something with the intent of like trying to draw it, or like whether it be figure studies or master studies or anything like that, like if you ever need to practice, or do you just kind of draw whatever you want?
Yeah, I do. Like, I do look up like a lot of reference. I don't really do like master studies anymore, or when I sketch, I usually like sketch like this, like for funsies, not really, or like making those thumbnails. So I don't really do studies. Like if I'm making an artwork that has an object or like an animal that I've never drawn before, then I will try drawing it a couple of times, so I kind of try to remember how something like that is drawn. Like yesterday I was thinking about the fact that I think I've never drawn a cow before. So I tried to draw a cow from memory, and it was so hard. Can I actually ask you to draw a cow? Have you ever drawn a cow? I draw like cartoon cows. Here, I can try. It's just, I know that they have very cute little ears. This is how I draw cows. They're very simple and a little silly. And then they kind of look like boxes. Wow.
It's like, and then you have like the udder, and then you have like the little funny tail that like swishes around.
I feel like you remember the shape really well.
I remember going on road trips, especially in Texas. You see cows very often. And so I just always would drive by and I'd be like, moo-moos! And I think they're so cute. And I feel like I had to draw one for an art like trade, or like an art telephone prompt that I did a few years ago. And I think I feel like that was the first time that I ever actually like looked up. I was like, what do cows look like? And that stuck with me, but it's like, I mean, horses? No way.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely not.
I think I've drawn horses a bit more often, so I know. And also, like with cats, I don't need to have like a reference, so I can draw a pretty much like the profile of a cat. It's something that I think I can do pretty like comfortably at this point, because I've drawn cats so many times.
Oh, of course.
I think it's the same sketchbook, so I'll check if I have that cow sketch that I made last night.
Please.
Wait a sec. Because I also have one which was after... Okay, this is it. The first one looks so weird. Okay, this was the first one. I was like, no, it can't have like a neck like this. It looks like a
giraffe.
A horsey.
Or it looks almost, it's like, yeah, a horse, I think more so. That's good.
Okay, and this was the second one. I was like, no, this is more like it.
Yes, yes.
And then I also made these, and I didn't like look for a reference at this point, but they still felt like off somehow. So I'm gonna show you the first one that I drew with like reference. It's like so much better. This one.
Sorry. Yeah. The other ones were very cute, but it's always like kind of alarming at how much reference helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's great. I love that cow. And I really like the one that's eating the grass. So cute. They're so darling.
Thank you.
They look great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, reference like really helps. If someone, I don't think anyone like nowadays says that looking at reference is cheating somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like a notion that people have like gotten over already. But yeah, definitely you should like watch reference and see how things actually look.
I feel like that's something that I still have to like tell myself and be like, Cheyenne, you're allowed to look at reference photos. You can go on Pinterest. You don't just have to like kind of draw from the void.
Yeah.
So I have to remind myself that like reference is good and warranted and everyone uses it, because sometimes I feel like, you know, my favorite artists and the people that I look up to, I'm like, they don't use reference. And it's like, yes, they do.
They absolutely do.
They absolutely, 100% they do. I always like asking like different professionals this. What if you have one, what's your like daily routine if you know that you need to be making a lot of art, or if you know that you're going to be working on a piece like the whole day? Like how do you set yourself up for success? And if you don't, like, I don't really have like a set routine. And so if you don't, that is also fine. I just know some people have like kind of a ritual that they follow whenever they're doing their creative work.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that tries to wake up kinda early, I think. I usually wake up at 7 or 8 and just do my regular morning things. I usually, like, my bad habit is straight away picking up my phone.
Oh yeah, same.
Like starting scrolling. I've managed to not open any social media in the morning, but I've changed my daily fix with like news. So I usually go to my go-to news site and just check all the news for like half an hour. But then I eat a breakfast, go to my studio, and just start working. And I usually work, at least when I was making those pieces for my solo exhibition, I like worked until like noon, had something for lunch. There's like a lot of nice lunch options here close by.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or take something from a conveni if I'm like super tight for like schedule.
Oh, I love the little like onigiris that you can get from the convenience stores. I think that's so cool.
Oh, it's so good. Like my favorite is tuna mayo onigiri, but kind of like I've been eating it so much lately that I kind of grown tired of rice here.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought my cat said something.
Your cats are really talkative. Because my cat
Pepper is
always quiet.
Yeah, Sophie doesn't make a sound. Sophie is quiet as a mouse. She has started though, I think it's because she's getting old. She'll sometimes I'll be lying in bed either in the morning or in the evening and she'll be cuddling with me and then she'll wander away into the living room and then she starts crying and then I have to be like, Sophie, I'm in here.
Yeah.
And then she stops and comes back in and I'm like, did you forget where I was? Sweetheart?
She
it's
sounds
very cute.
just like Miura. She does the same thing. If someone leaves the house and she thinks she's alone, even though I am present, then she starts crying. I've been left alone. My life sucks. And I'm like, hey,
no one's coming back
I'm
for
here.
me. What are some of your biggest art inspirations? Oh my gosh, I love the cat in the dress. I also love the scared black cat. They are so special to me.
Thank you.
Oh my god, he's perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, I was just asking what some of your biggest inspirations are. I really love obviously Studio Ghibli is a big one. And then I have a handful of my favorite illustrators and I really love picking up children's books that are done by some of my favorite illustrators. So it's just really nice, good children's books. And then I've also found a couple of I feel I find new people on Instagram every day, but are there any that you sort of have loved or love or reference or anything like that?
Yeah, I think my biggest artistic crush, or maybe not so much inspiration, but I truly love Tove Jansson's works.
Of course, the icon.
And her illustrations and everything. She's my favorite. Ever since I was a kid, I loved her work, and I've continued loving them ever since. Yeah, I wish I knew Swedish enough so I could read her books in the intended language, the language that she wrote them in. But my Swedish is not good enough. My mom and dad must have read me them as a bedtime story when I was a small kid. But I also thoroughly enjoyed the animated version of the Moomins. I think all the 90s kids in Finland have seen it, and I think my face was glued to the TV whenever I was seeing the Moomins. Those were the best. And even now I watch them on the background in Japanese too, because I know exactly what's gonna happen in them, and I know all the dialogue in Finnish, so now I can learn the language while watching the Moomins.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's so smart.
But yeah, when I was a child, of course, I didn't understand that the Moomins, the TV series, was made in Japan. But I think it must have had some kind of an impact on my style. Do your cats have tendencies of eating things they shouldn't?
Yes. Sophie loves to chew on electrical wires.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's not good.
That's dangerous.
It's she does it whenever I'm not giving her enough attention, which is always. And so if she wants something from me and I'm not paying attention to her, she'll just go over to my computer and just start chewing on cables because she knows that that's gonna get me off my feet and over to her immediately. She does that. So I have to just like all of my cables basically. Hi, Pepper. Pepper is currently like tapping me on the shoulder with her paw so that I'll pet her. She like stretches up on her back legs and like reaches up with her paw to tap me on the shoulder. Yeah, so Sophie likes to chew on electrical wires. And then Pepper likes to chew on my fake plants. So I had this like one fake IKEA plant on my coffee table And I remember I like was looking at it one day and I was like, why are there not as many leaves on this as I feel like there should be? I feel like there's some missing. And then I realized I would just hear like a little crunching sound, and I would turn around and Pepper would literally be eating the fake leaves off of the plant.
No.
I know. And luckily it like never had any kind of, she never had any health issues from it or anything, but...
Okay. But has she like swallowed them?
I guess so, because I didn't see them, anywhere. So I presume so.
Trying to make I wanted to make like a wish hat out of smoke and fire. But it looks...
Heck yeah.
kind of weird.
Oh, I like it. I think that looks really cool. It looks edible in a way.
Like cotton candy. It looks more like cotton candy.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I was like,
maybe
it
I
looks
should
like
have
a
had
treat.
it like come like this more. It could be like an idea for an illustration, maybe.
Oh, I really like that. I also just love, I love all your witches. I enjoy seeing, recurring themes.
Oh, thank you. I haven't been drawing witches in like a long time. Yeah, I don't think I did any like paintings for the gallery show even that had witches this time. So maybe I should make more in the future again.
What's your favorite thing to draw right now?
Right now I really enjoy drawing like elf characters. Like I love drawing. I'll show you. I love drawing ears like this.
Oh yes,
This
absolutely.
is my favorite at the moment.
If you were a witch like of an element, what do you think it would be?
Of an element. Maybe... so hard. Maybe water. I think I'm drawn to water the most. It's really sad that in Tokyo it's, at least where I am based, I can't see the ocean so much, because when I was living in Helsinki and Oulu, I've always been really close to water, and I think there's been in my family, my grandfather was a sailorman, and we had a tiny a motorboat when I was a kid, and we used to go on these trips with my family on that motorboat. So I think water is like a recurring theme in my personal life, so maybe a water witch.
Maybe a water witch that's also a mermaid.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm like, you're already in the water, or you're already dealing with water all the time anyway.
Yeah, I would love to be a mermaid, but a tiny mermaid, like one like this size, like a tiny little fish mermaid.
Oh god, that'd be so cute. Oh.
To have crab
Itty
friends.
Bitty. Oh yeah. Oh my god. And you sleep in kelp or algae or something.
Yeah, you could make a house out of tossed out watermelon shell or something like that.
Oh my god. That's very cute. I really like that. How do you think your style came to be what it is? I think that's I think about that a lot with myself too, where I'm like, why do I draw the way that I do? What happened to get me here? Because I think your style is, I feel like your style is extremely unique and very recognizable.
Oh really?
Yes, I think so, at least. I feel like I can spot your work from a mile away.
Okay.
And
oh, that's nice to hear.
Yes. Yeah, I just wonder, what did you ever... I remember when I first started, because I didn't really start drawing seriously. I was always drawing in sketchbooks and stuff, but my illustration pursuit started in, 2017 when I opened my Etsy store. And I feel like that was when... I remember I had the distinct thought of being I don't just want to draw little things to go on sticker sheets anymore. I'm I want to draw characters and people and full pieces. And then I started trying to think about like characters and composition and stuff more, and I feel like through thinking about that, it's eventually led me to where I am today, because I was a theater major.
Oh,
so
wow, okay.
illustration was not in my, like, artist was not kind of in my life path. I wonder if you've ever had any kind of moments like that in your life where you've thought of a particular direction that you want your style to go, or particular things you want to make that have led you to where you are.
I think at some point when I started in university, that was like the turning point. I think I already had like a certain kind of style already, of course, because I think style is just like a tool, like a vessel for what you want to portray. So of course I had like a certain style when I was in high school, but I started feeling a lot of pressure in university about already having a distinct style to like market my works. I think it's also because I was a graphic design major, and I was figuring out if I wanted to like become an illustrator. And all the examples I saw of like professionals making illustration work in Finland. Ooh, I love that. Love that which you're coming up with.
Oh, thank you.
So, what was I saying? So when I saw like the professionals who were already like making illustration work professionally, I kind of felt like I didn't have that distinct style, and I was feeling like I have to find it right away. How do I find it? Where is it?
Where is it? Give it to me.
Yeah. How can I be like someone else? Why am I not like that person who already has like their style? Which is a really destructive thought of mine to have. Like to be like you have to be like someone else. That's not like a good starting point. So
no, it's not. I'm also just doing this. I'm doing smoke off of this hat as well, not to like totally steal your idea or anything.
I think when I figured out that I just need to draw more, because before that I was only drawing characters as well, characters on a blank background. That was my like go-to. So I was thinking maybe I shouldn't focus too much on the style that I'm making the work in, but rather learn to draw a lot of different things. Like I started drawing backgrounds, I tried drawing like vehicles and males more. I kind of like figured out at the same time things that I do not enjoy drawing. I'm not really into drawing boys. So I don't draw boys, and that's okay.
Neither am I, so
yeah. So, and I also don't like drawing cars, so I don't want to draw cars. I don't want to draw mecha. I don't want to draw buildings so much. So I just choose not to draw those things, and that's okay.
Perfect. That is totally fine.
But while I was like trying, maybe do I want to like draw backgrounds? I hadn't done that before, but I really enjoyed it. So like that was something that stuck with me. Like I enjoyed drawing backgrounds, so I'm gonna do that also.
Oh,
so
great.
That really helped me like distract me from that dread of not having a style, and that style kind of started growing on its own while I was learning to draw all those different things.
I feel like sometimes maybe like younger or like newer artists get frustrated whenever they ask for advice on like, how do you find your style? And it's kind of the unfortunate reality of the thing. It's just like, you just kind of have to keep drawing a lot. Because it's sort of, like you said, you figure out what you like to draw, what you don't like to draw, and it just sort of comes about on its own. Which I think is really, because it's as your own taste develops and you learn not only what you like in your own art, but what you like in other people's art. And I feel like just as you keep drawing and as you keep consuming more and more stuff, I feel like your style is one of those things that can often develop kind of without you realizing, just as you're very unique, because everyone's taste and everyone's design and everything is unique. And I feel like as that takes shape, what comes out of your pen just sort of changes and follows suit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that is to say that I agree with you, and I think that's really cool. I really like your journey. And I also, I very much feel the thing of being like, why am I not drawing like this other person? Why can't I draw like them?
Yeah. These days, it's like really helpful for me to like stay off of social media. I usually, when I post something, I just post and then run away. But I kind of miss being able to communicating with people more. But at the same time, being on social media, I feel like so bad. There's so many awful things happening in our industry, and there's always something new which fills me with like sadness. So I don't want that.
I think so too. Also, I love that Cloud Witch. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Wow.
Really happy
She's
with
beautiful.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna make one more witch with the...
Yes.
So I have the fire, the water. I made a lighthouse for the for the hat for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna make the nature, the leafy witch.
Leafy witch. I'm making a leafy witch too. Like, I feel like my biggest thing that I'm working on, well, not biggest, but I feel like my next like artistic obstacle that I would love to work on is like greenery. Particularly like trees and like landscape type greenery. Because I feel like that's just something that's always been difficult for me, because I also, backgrounds are 100% my weakness as an artist, and so I really want to start tackling them.
I would recommend checking out the artworks by Kazuo Oga. He's the background artist for most of the Ghibli movies.
Okay, absolutely. I will.
Really inspiring, at least for me. Like when I make backgrounds, I have both of his like art books. So when I need like inspiration for a background, I usually like check out those.
I know I have like a background from The Secret of Arietti as my like desktop wallpaper.
Ooh.
And I just look at all of the flowers, and their forests are so lush and beautiful.
Are you looking forward to the new Ghibli film?
I just saw one of my friends post about that on Instagram the other day. I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Yeah, actually, I think they have not published it yet. I think they've only published like 4 pictures of it. They've been really secretive. But I think we went to see it like 2 weeks ago when it first came out here.
Okay.
I do recommend it. I don't want to say anything about it.
Okay, fantastic. I think I saw a couple screenshots from it, and I was like, new Ghibli film! And I got really excited. What's your favorite Ghibli film? I should ask.
My favorite? That's also a difficult question. What's your favorite?
I know.
You tell me first.
I think it's Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, really?
Because it was one of the first that I saw. The very first Ghibli movie that I ever saw was Pokoroso, actually, and I watched it in one of my acting classes for some reason. This was in high school, and then one of my friends lent me his DVD for Howl's Moving Castle, and I just remember like when I saw the castle like lumber through the fog for the first time, I started crying because I was so struck by the like magic of it and the scale and the detail. I think it was the detail in the castle that like really made me emotional. And I feel like because of that, it's always stuck with me. And I feel like now, of course, I love the romance aspect. I think it's so delightful. And I also really love the original book by Diane Wynne Jones. Even though the book is so different from the movie, but I really like it just as a piece of media, and I really like it as a story. So
I think my favorite Ghibli movie has changed so many times during the years.
But
the first one that I saw came from like the Finnish TV when I was just a kid, and my mom happened to see like a picture from the movie in like a newspaper, and decided to record it when it came out, and it was Totoro. And my mom saw the picture of the cat bus, and she was like, wow, this looks really nice, I'm gonna like record this for the kids. So it was so like I was still maybe 5 or 7 years old, so really small kid when I saw that for the first time.
I kind of wish I had seen them when I was a kid, but yeah, my first one that I ever saw, I was already in high school.
Well, Totoro is not like my favorite. I have nostalgia for it, but could be that my favorite is either Nausicaa or I think I like Mononoke a lot nowadays.
So good.
Kiki is so nice. I love Kiki. But
I feel like Kiki, especially now, because I'm like, again, I'm going through this like weird art block phase. I feel like Kiki is so resonant, and I'm like, I just want to be Ursula. I just want to go to the woods and draw birds all day.
Yeah, I feel the same. But yeah, maybe my favorite at the moment is Nausicaa.
I also find it so cool how you start with hair first on your characters, and then you add the face in.
I think it's easier for me to frame the shape of the head when there's already hair in there.
Oh, that makes sense. I always wondered that. I was like, how does she do that? Because that feels so counterintuitive to me. But that makes sense. Where you're like, you kind of carve out the head with the hair.
Yeah.
And then you just add the chin.
Yeah, that's true. Tracks. That's what I do. Because you can like make mistakes when you make the hair, and you can like fix it, and it's gonna look nice. But if you start with the shape of the head, if you make a mistake, it's like harder somehow.
You are so right. That's very clever, and really like that's very strategic of you. That's good planning. I also I'm thinking of like other animated films that I love. I also love Your Name, of course.
So good.
Yeah, Makoto Shinkai. I also really enjoyed Weathering with You as well.
Me too.
I thought it was so beautiful.
I think the first time I saw Your Name, that was like the catalyst for me to like. After that movie, I was like, I want to move to Japan right now.
Oh, she's so cute. What is she? Clouds?
I'm not sure.
Light?
Maybe light.
Something? Sparkles. Yeah.
Night sky.
I always, when in doubt, I add sparkles. I think this is a wonderful note to end on.
I'm not happy with the face, so I'm gonna make a black face mask to cover it.
Perfect. Honestly, that's a great hack. I think that's a great hack and super valid.
Yeah, that's a lot better now. Can I see your pages one more time?
Please. So here's our fairies.
Cool.
I when I started on this one, I was like, oh no, I don't like it. And then I added this fairy, and I was like, oh no, I like it now. So, same with these guys. I really like him as well. And then all the cats. I tried to draw one of my cats.
I just love your compositioning. Like, you have such a nice, like, it fills out the space so nicely.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you. I know, I feel like I just don't like having a lot of, I feel weird when there's like a lot of empty space, so I just fill in little bits and bobs, but thank you so much. And then the cats, and then our little witches.
Oh,
And then I tried to draw hair like you draw hair. So I was like, what is it like to draw hair first? Yeah, so I'm very happy with these spreads. I would love to see yours.
Let's see. I'm gonna show off this one first because they are on the back side of but these are my witches.
So cute. I love the lighthouse hat.
Yeah, me too.
I love the lighthouse hat.
This is like a nice idea that I could like maybe make an illustration out of.
I think so. I think it would also, I feel like I also just love the way you draw water, or the way you paint water, so I feel like that would also look really cool.
Oh, thank you so much. And then here are my fairies.
Oh, I love the one with the little berries. Oh, so cute. And I also love those thumbnails. I really like the bonsai tree one too.
Maybe I have to make something like that in the future. I usually end up like discarding a lot of my like small ideas like that, just picking out the ones that I really like see that are worth it, kind of.
Yeah, you can't make them all. Oh, hello. That little black
really
one
enjoy
is so.
This one.
It is so special to me.
Let's see. I'm gonna bring it closer because it's.
Hello. Hi, beautiful. Focus for me, please. Yes, there she is. Oh my god. Hi, Mira. Oh my gosh.
Really happy about it.
She's so good. Yeah, as you should be. She's great.
And there you are. Hello. It's good to see you again. Heikala and I said our like farewells and goodbyes off the air. So this is me saying goodbye to you now. And also, thank you again to Heikala. It was so wonderful to get to draw with you for 2 hours. And also a dream come true. Like, if I think about it, it's so surreal if I think about it too long. My brain, like, short circuits again. It was truly such a wonderful, wonderful evening. As I mentioned at the start and a little bit during the video, Heikala has an upcoming exhibition at Gallery Nucleus. It is going to be her second solo show, so her second solo exhibition at Gallery Nucleus in Alhambra, California, which according to Google Maps is just outside of LA. So if you're in the area, you should absolutely go check it out. The show runs from August 26th to September 10th, and she's going to have a bunch of new pieces on exhibition as well as originals for sale. And if I could get down to California in the next 2 weeks, I would, but alas. So go in my stead. And so I will bid you adieu here. Thank you again for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed getting to spend this cozy artsy time with me and Heikala, and I will see you around on the internet. So have a good one. Stay frosty. Bye. Sophie. Hi. Hi, ma'am. Did you have a good nap? Do you have any closing comments for the video? Excellent. A true star. So, thank you for watching. Bye.